So they had to get a new actor for him, Sarah Toole. The other guy was terrific, though, absolutely terrific. I like to start these things off. We could talk to you with our own history. Neil's very good at that. Robert's very good at that. But how about some questions out there? That always gets us right off. And a hand went up right away, right here. What do you want? Go ahead, ask away.
Yes, this is Mr. Jim Rader.
Yeah, this is Jim.
Who's the voice actor for Kerrigan?
The original or the one that's doing it now? The original was Glynis Talkin, and she was replaced by a lady named Tricia Helfer. I don't know if you've seen the show Battlestar Galactica.
Which one's like better?
That's brutal.
She's already with the tough questions. It can't be like, what do you think of the weather?
You know, you used to be able to answer that question before Facebook and Twitter, before 25 people were like sitting there going,
this would be on YouTube.
Yeah, if you were to say that right now, you just know out there instantaneously there are at least that many going out there to Twitter.
But can I jump in real quick on something like, because I got to tell you, when we did BlizzCon last year, for 2009, did you know who was playing Kerrigan at that point?
No, that was a surprise. In fact,
none of us knew, and we were wandering around the convention, and that's when I finally met Robert, and James. We had a great time. They walked us in the back of the hall, and I got to tell you, first of all, as big a geek as you think you are, I'm standing right next to you. Okay? I am as big a dork as anybody who's here. So I'm walking around backstage at BlizzCon, seeing all this techno gadgets and stuff to beam it out to 57 countries around the world, which is totally surreal to me. And we get behind this stage, and there are movie screens, like at the Metreon. Huge screens! And this is the stage we're about to go on. They bring us into the green room, and there's Tricia Helfer. Now, who here has seen Battlestar Galactica, the new one?
Yeah, I mean, she's like 11 feet tall.
Number 6 is standing there. Do you feel me, brother? Do you know what I'm saying? I walked through the door. And there's number 6. Let me tell you, as pretty as you think she is, she's even nicer.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful person, and we had a great time meeting her, but it blew me away.
The whole time I'm thinking, that's my girlfriend.
Stay away, she's mine.
She's got issues, but...
And what about the award she won?
Oh, by the way, Tricia won the VGA award, which is a video game award for Best Human Female Actress at the Spike TV, along with the game winning Best PC Game of the Year. So it's going well. But to answer your question, each one brings a unique perspective to the role. And Trish is truly a really marvelous actress. In fact, on the, I'll give you kind of a little inside scoop here. I can't tell you what's happening in the next game, but they actually brought Trish and I in to work together, which is a rarity. Normally when you work on these video games, you're working by yourself. And they actually did a session where Trish and I were able to work together and really get to know one another. And I think she's a gifted actress, and I think the two of us together really brought some stuff to the role that is really going to be quite exciting and interesting in this this next chapter that's released in sometime in the next 150 years.
You feel safe in saying that? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see some of you at BlizzCon 2011, which is happening in October. Go to their website. It's already up, getting ready to sell tickets.
Here we
Go
are.
ahead.
Yeah.
I know one of us will be there.
I was just wondering, do all three of you actually play Starcraft?
Well, I already answered that one.
And I can guarantee you I do not play, because if you think Neil has an addictive personality, mine is far more addictive. I would be crazy. I would have no life at all, 24 hours a day. I would be Starcraft 1, 2, I would be Diablo 2, 1, I would be World of Warcraft without stop. I mean, I would. So no, I don't, because I truly would. I am addicted with it. I'm crazy. I read all the stuff, and I'm fascinated by it. You guys fascinate me. Yeah. No, I don't.
Yeah, answer the question, I don't play it because I live it.
Yeah, I used to play back in the early days of consoles, but once it started getting a little too complex, on Madden football, where it was like double touch, triple touch, push it up here, do that, and my brother was able to do it, and so he'd school me 78 to nothing. It's like, yeah, that's great football, man. Thanks for running in for 2 points on that one. That was awesome. You rock. Because somebody out there was thinking, 78 points. How do you get that in football? But
I would.
Thank you. Loving you.
If you had a Pac-Man, I would still play that.
But and that's nothing against the gameplay. As a matter of fact, the wonderful thing, as I said before about Starcraft, is it's one of those games that you can sit back and watch other people play. When we were at BlizzCon this last summer, we got in for a quick Q&A just before the finals, and we're sitting there in the back watching some of the gameplay videos, just going, how do you do that? It's crazy. Do you play? And are you good?
No.
But at least you can do that in public. Right on! Yeah.
Hopefully you're Terran and not Zerg.
Zerg chapter to come out.
Another question. Question.
Oh, come on. Okay, right here.
Could you all do the same terrible damage in your own, your circumstances?
Say your request.
Terrible damage.
First of all, tell me what is that from?
It was from Worldwide Invitational.
Oh,
Yeah, what was the
is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
What does the commentator said over and over again, and it became a cheat code?
Yeah, and I've
really?
been asked to say it for about a year and a half now. Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. It's just
Terrible damage.
Oh man, it's down here. It's gotta be terrible damage.
Yeah, you're looking at me, the guy with the high-pitched voice, going, there's no way that dork is tight as fiddle.
War is coming. In all its glory, all its horror, and it will cause terrible damage.
And also a question all the way in the back. There we go. How did I get into the industry of voice acting? Who wants to do that one first? Are you in the industry? I was this last week. We'll see about next week. Well, first and foremost, I decided to get into it before half the world decided that they wanted to do it. So that was kind of a big one right there. I've kind of always been, to back it up, there was a show that these two guys might remember. I can guarantee you nobody in this room is going to know what I'm talking about. There was a show in the early 70s called The Copycats that had Marilyn Michaels and Frank Gorshin and a lot of other impressionists. And so they would come out and they would do sketches as different actors, as different characters. And one of my favorite things they did was celebrity sneezes. Like, true! And that was Richard Nixon. Well, my whole thing was I started to except when I originally did it was and it's like my brother said, that's not how Donald sounds. It was the 70s version of you suck. Yeah, whatever. And so little did I know, I actually went out and found the way that Ducky Nash actually did Donald, which was
You can't just repeat what I dare. I need to force the answers about like this, and then you talk, okay?
And then I started doing impressions. So I was the fourth grader who did impressions while everybody else was lip syncing to Easy Like Sunday Morning. Don't ask me why he won the talent contest, because really, what does it take to lip sync? You know what I mean? 5 years later, I'm almost over it. Yeah, exactly. But I just started doing that, and I grew up on Saturday Night Live watching sketch comedy and doing sketch comedy, and I just said, I'm not that interested in memorizing dialogue. I'm really not. And I had met Mel Blanc, and I had met a couple of other, Dawes Butler, and a couple of other greats that I grew up on, and just said, that's all I want to do. I just want to create characters. I just want to go and do goofy voices. In the 70s and 80s, the only people in Hollywood that were doing voiceover for cartoons were the people that couldn't get hired on camera. Then all of a sudden, somebody found out, wait, I don't have to shave. I can wear shorts. I I can be in a movie that my child won't be embarrassed to see me in. Holy crap, and before you know it, everybody and their brother, every single star in Hollywood or wannabe star is now doing voiceovers, and then everybody at every convention wants to do voice. Let's just do something right now. How many of you would like to do voices in anime? Oh wow, this is unusual. Great. I love this crowd. Yes! Only 3 of you. A lot of times I'll come to these anime conventions and I'll say that 97% of the hands go up. And then you say, okay, how many of you would do it for free? And then 95% of those hands go up and you go, you're the reason I can't pay a mortgage. I love you. But that's kind of how I got into it, and these days it's just how do I stay in? How do I stay in? How do I, to paraphrase what Robert said, how do I make sure that a month from now I'm still in the industry? But you just asked how we got it. That's how I got it.
How I got into it is rather brief, actually. I was an actor on the stage and in the medium of television and film. And about 15 years ago, I got into this slowly, and I was asked to come in and audition for some video games, of which Starcraft was one of them. And I did Starcraft and a couple of others, and then I never pursued it. And they kind of pursued me 3 years ago, and now I've been interested in it, and I'm trying to get out into it. I can say that in my own background, I did a lot of the thing of listening to the comedians of the day, and doing a lot of impressions. And most of the impressions I do, none of you would know who they were. They're a little older and dead.
Are you gonna say your neighbors?
Yeah, no. But your money or your life.
That's you.
Did you hear me? I said your money or your life. I'm thinking. Jack Benny, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Benny. An old Jack Benny radio routine. None of you would know. But I also done other things like Vuba, Vuba, Vuba. Ding! Noah. Vuba, Vuba, Vuba. Ding! Noah. Who is that? Right. Bill Cosby, or the plane rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls, and we're not going to get off the ground tonight. We're not. Oh, Alka-Seltzer known biz. Shelley Berman. I could do his entire recordings. Anyway, that kind of stuff, it got me out, and I was getting kicked off. But the voiceover thing was much later, and that's how I got it, and now I'm beginning to pursue it. But this man over here.
Yeah?
You let
Okay. You let me hang out there. I was going to say something funny, but I have nothing funny to say. I started actually when I was 15. My father was in radio production, and I was around all these great people growing up. And I was always an actor, always pretty outgoing, and really enjoyed what these people were doing, because here they were adults, and they were acting like kids. And I thought, hey, I've got a Peter Pan syndrome. I don't want to grow up. I want to have fun forever. And doing voiceover and being an actor is kind of like that. You have to put in a lot of effort to learn your craft, but you also have to retain that ability to really be creative like a kid is. You really have to be free. And if there's a key to it, that's, I think, one of the major ones is, to learn how to do it, but then to be able to, like Picasso says, he studied his whole life to learn how to paint like a child. You really need the craft, but then you need to be free and have fun with it. So I started really early, and fortunately I was pretty successful right away, so it kept kind of feeding the appetite, and I kept getting the positive reinforcement and the encouragement, and sooner or later I realized, man, I really can't do anything else. If somebody needs me to dig a ditch, maybe, but as far as going to become a brain surgeon, that's not going to happen. But I can play a brain surgeon. And also what's fun is that as a voiceover actor, you're really not limited by what you look like. You can be anything. Come on. Jim Raynor? Are you freaking kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, you got two excellent examples on this table right here.
But at the same time, who wouldn't want to be playing James